Hello, students. Welcome to the sixth chapter Empowerment of Women and Other Weaker Sections, Standard 9th, Subject History, Part 2. In Part 1, we studied that women have played a major role during freedom struggle as well as post-independence period. We studied about Bhudan movement that was started by Vinoba Bhave, where females played a major role by carrying message of Bhudan movement to villagers and making them aware about this movement. We even studied about women having played a significant role in the Telangana peasants' armed struggle which challenged the rule of Nizams and the feudal system. We understood about Latne movement which was carried under the leadership of Mrinal Gore against the commodities price rise during Diwali. And constructive woman power was seen during the Chipko movement. This movement was led by Chandi Prasad Bhatt and Sundarlal Bahuguna. This movement was against the cut down of trees for commercial purposes, where social activists Gaura Devi, Sudesha Devi and Bachani Devi created the awareness among the women. In 1992, and movement was started against liquor shops in Andhra Pradesh. In this anti-liquor movement too, women of villages came together and forced the closure of Iraq shops. So in today's session, we are going to study about International Women's Year, in which we are going to understand what steps were taken by the government and other organizations to empower women, to understand women's problem in the society and what solutions were put forth to solve their problem. Let's start with International Women's Year. The United Nations had declared 1975 as the International Women's Year. Three aspects of this program were peace, development of the woman, and equality between men and women. In 1975, the Government of India constituted the Committee for Understanding the Status of Women in the Society and for improving the status of females in the society under the leadership of Dr. Fularenu Gua. And so, Dr. Fularenu Gua was appointed as its chairman of the committee. This committee was to study, firstly, what is the position of women in the society? What is their status? The constitution which is created by the government has provided many provisions like men and women are equal, they can equally vote, they have voting rights, equal voting rights, and many provisions for women upliftment were added in the Indian constitution. So this committee had to even study that does this constitution has given or brought about any changes in women's life, has these provisions benefited women in the society. They even had to survey what are the provisions provided for women's education, what are females literacy rate, and if females are educated, due to education what changes women have faced or undergone any development. The females who work, who are employed, what problems do they face? Where they work, what problem does a female face there? Are females given same wages, same salary as compared to males in the society? Wages means salary. Do they get more or less? Do they get same rights as males? These all aspects of female in the society were studied. Then female and male ratio is how much? How many females are there per 1,000 males? These aspects were also studied by this committee. In case of India, the female ratio is less. Only in Kerala, female ratio is more. Women's birth and mortality rate. Mortality rate is death rate. All these aspects and even the role of women in the society was studied in this committee under the supervision of Dr. Fularenu Gua. In Maharashtra, in 1975, Stree Mukti Sangharsha Samiti conference was held. Women from all walks of life, from all the fields, women took part in this conference. In 1978, a manifesto was published. Manifesto means a written statement of the belief, aims and policies of an organization. So in 1978, a manifesto was published by this committee. A policy was set up against the people or organization who are based on basis of gender, caste and varna. Due to this policy, many songs were written called Stri Mukti Tsi Lalkari. Mulgi Zali Ho, a street play was written by Jyoti Mahapsekar, and a periodical called Prerak Lalkari, which became their mouthpiece, and other such programs were set up. Periodical is a monthly magazine had started, which was called Prerak Lalkari. This magazine became a main source from which women's issue and progress news and announcements were given to the society, and various such programs had started. Now, various such programs were started to empower women so that they understand the issue and start to raise for their justice. Stri Mukti Sangharsh Samiti were getting in all this to women's notice, and so women started realizing about their issues. All these were used to make female aware about their problems and make them understand their power and importance in the society. In 1977, groups like Stri Mukti Andolan was established by Saudamini Rao in Pune. They even started with Bayaja, a fortnightly magazine. Fortnightly means releasing a magazine after every 2 weeks. So they used to release Bayaja magazine after every 15 days. As also a group like Stri Uvach was established, that is speeches given by females. Maitrin, that means friend. Stri Anyay Virodhi Manch, that means whatever injustice was going on with females, to raise the voice against those injustice, a manch, a platform was created in Aurangabad. Many more groups like Mahila Dakshata Samiti in Kolhapur, Mahila Hakk in Nasik, and Nari Prabodhan Manch in Lathur were formed. Nari Prabodhan means a platform for females to give them public awareness, to alert women and make them aware about various rights. A stage, a platform was created to raise their voice against injustice. Anti-dowry protection committee were formed all over Maharashtra. Dowry means an amount of money or property is taken from girl's family in their marriage. So in Maharashtra, anti-dowry protection committee was set up to get rights for female in society against the injustice and cruelty against women. A conference, a meeting was held to protest against the oppression of women in Dhule city. Oppression means unjust treatment. To help female fight against injustice, Vidya Bal, a social activist, had started a lot of periodical, that is magazines, like Nari Samita Manch and Milun Saryani, means Milkar Sab, and also an organization was started like Samajwadi Mahila Sabha and Krantikari Mahila Sanghatana. These organizations help females to deal with lots of issues. The Employment Guarantee Scheme in Maharashtra was started to empower women, that is, females should get job and so as to give them power in society. Because of this, women started earning for their livelihood. For this, Maharashtra had started a scheme like Employment Guarantee Scheme. Pramila Dandavate established the Mahila Dakshata Samiti in Delhi in 1976. Branches of the Samiti came up in the states of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. The Communist Party established the Akhil Bharatiya Janwadi Mahila Sanghatana in 1980. These were the various organizations that had started by various political parties, various socialist activists like Vidya Bal, Pramila Dandavate. Now, why were these organizations set up? These organizations were set up to help females fight against the problems they were facing in the society. And efforts were made to start branches of these organizations in all parts of India. The Sanghatana started a struggle against issues like dowry, female feticide. Feticide means killing girl child in the womb only, as also the struggle against the domestic abuse. Now, research on women's issues were undertaken at various levels, for which women study centers were started. The first women university, the Shrimati Nathibai Damodar Thakarse SNDT. It was a women's university at Mumbai. And at Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, Savitribai Phule, Pune University, and Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Now, these centers played an important role in critical analysis, that is, study, and in developing a vision on women's issue. So all these organizations were set up to help women to overcome all the issues, all the problems they were facing in the society, and try to get justice for them. So in today's session we understood how the various organizations as well as government have worked for women upliftment by getting them together and making them understand about their rights. So in the next session, we will be studying about the various laws brought by the government to help women empowerment. Thank you.